Coming up on TekThing, CES 2018, the big trends, products we haven't covered yet, Anker's Roav VIVA Alexa for your car review, and then a brief history of the Sentio Superbook. All coming up on TekThing. Hangouts with the host, build videos, early access. How about our weekly pick for the top 5 tech stories? Our patrons at patreon.com/TekThing get all this, and hey, more importantly, they make TekThing possible. Without your support at patreon.com/TekThing, we wouldn't be able to make the show. Thank you.
I'm Shannon Morse.
And I'm Patrick Norton.
And this is TekThing, where we have something useful in every single show.
Especially this week, Project Not Dead Yet, the CES 2018 flu-ridden edition.
Yep, that would be me.
Your sinuses are blocked.
Yep.
We've both been trying to hack lungs up.
I'm babying my tea all day today because it's the only thing that keeps me from coughing up a lung every 2 seconds.
I made a potion involving honey and lemons from my backyard.
It's amazing. It tastes really good.
Yes.
So I'm really happy. But yes, that is why I have a very bassy voice today, and I might cough a lot. So I apologize ahead of time for for being under the weather and not having as much energy as I usually do.
Oh my goodness.
But we did see a lot of trends at CES 2018 this year, many of which were, I would say, expected.
Absolutely.
Definitely expected. Some were not. Some were a little bit more surprising.
I'm just going to say one thing right now. Just pull it up. Useless robots. They are such a thing at CES 2018. I'm going to drop it right there. We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But not to take anything, like Cleo had a rough day on Monday at CES. You were obsessed with wireless charging this year.
Well, yeah, I wasn't so much obsessed. I just saw it everywhere. In the past, I feel like nobody really paid attention to wireless charging that much. It tried to spurt out a little bit a few years ago, but nobody paid attention to it. But now that iPhones have wireless charging, hooray! Everybody and their mom is making wireless charging devices.
I feel the opposite. I've been seeing wireless chargers for years, but could do nothing with them. So.
Oh, well, I could do everything with them since I had a Nexus device 3 years ago, but I couldn't do anything with it with my newest device. And now everybody has wireless charging. So everyone, it seemed, was announcing new wireless charging, especially, and they are definitely marketed towards iPhone users. Belkin has 3 or 4 new ones that are coming out in a bunch of different colors, including a very cute desert pink, which I thought was adorable. Then iOttie, they're actually coming out with a really pretty one, which is not online yet, so I can't show it to you, but it's a really pretty fabric one. They also had a couple of little standing mounts, which I thought were really nice looking, especially if you have an iPhone. And Satechi. So Satechi has always come out with really nice accessories for mobile devices, but now they also have wireless devices too. And each of these does the Qi wireless charging, which means that even if you don't have an iPhone, you can still use these for your Samsung devices, for example. So if you do have that Qi wireless charging available, all of these are cross-platform, basically, even though they're marketed more towards iPhone users. Another thing that I saw that was wireless efficient is from Ember. So Ember came out about 3 years ago on Indiegogo. I actually backed them, and then I gave the mug to my husband as a birthday present. So I never saw it again.
Oh, this is the smart coffee mug, the smart travel mug.
Yes, exactly. So they have the smart travel mug, but they also just released this brand new ceramic mug, and it is also wireless charging. So it heats from the bottom through a little capacitive bottom, and it keeps it heated at a specific temperature that you want it to be at. So, and since I'm currently flu-ridden, I've been paying a lot of attention to that because my tea generally cools down faster than what I can drink it. And I would love to have something that keeps it heated at the same temperature for a few hours as opposed to having it just get super cold all of a sudden. So I love the idea of having a heated ceramic mug like that. That's so cool, and I really want one. So I thought it was really awesome. Yeah, you can already get them. You can find them at Starbucks. So they're new.
So not new at CES, but you're obsessed with them.
They were newly released in 2017, and then they just started getting introduced to other places like Starbucks.
There was voice assistants everywhere. Alexa was everywhere, but Google Assistant was I think if there was a winner of the show or just thing that was shoved in your face every 15 minutes of the show, Google Assistant was definitely whether you're talking about
Yes.
keynotes on press day, banners on the front of the building, banners in random locations in Las Vegas, you know, Google Assistant inside of stuff you really don't want Google Assistant inside of.
It's true. So one thing that I thought was interesting is that Google was actually there. They had a really big presence themselves on the Las Vegas Convention Center parking lot. They had their own gigantic booth where you could check out all the different Google
Like a circus
Assistant.
tent.
It was almost like a circus tent. There were really long lines, like you were going to a circus. But on the inside, they were featuring all these different devices that were just recently announced or just announced in the past year that used Google Assistant technology, like voice assistants. So you had all of that stuff, and then you had all of the Amazon A-word stuff, like the Anker that you are going to be reviewing for us. There are refrigerators that LG was showing off that also used voice assistants for some reason. Google's entire booth was basically voice assistance technology. Panasonic even is teaming up with both Google and Amazon to bring voice assistants to your car built into the infotainment center. So the both of them are trying to pack it into your car so you aren't necessarily like stuck on your mobile device to be able to use voice assistants. So it seems like voice is breaking away from just being available in your smartphone or in just your home and going to other places that you can also use it, like in your car, which makes sense because a lot of places, a lot of states across the US and probably all over the world are making it illegal to do texting while driving or even just touching your phone in any specific way. So I think voice assistants in cars makes so much sense, and it'll be something that's really positive as far as helping people drive around and not have to touch or look at a screen to get the information that they need.
I'll buy into it in the cars, but one of the things that was being pushed, especially by LG and Samsung, or LG especially in their demos, was like, you know, we're going to use voice commands and artificial intelligence, so you don't have to like touch the two buttons on the front of my, you know, washing machine to wash clothes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's how I felt about the refrigerator too.
Right.
Is I was like, if I need to know what's in my fridge, I'm gonna look in my fridge. I'm not gonna ask the fridge.
You need to scan things so your fridge knows what they are, so it can plan its menus for you.
But
you can have conversations.
I'm already standing in front of the fridge. I don't need it to tell me.
But
what's
now
in
you
there.
can be standing in front of the washing machine, going, "Washing machine, what's it?"
It's ridiculous.
Maybe you can't talk to your washing machine about that, but it was. I mean, it brings us back to our friend Cleo, which was the heart of the LG demo, where they were like, "Voice command isn't enough.
Chloe.
You need Chloe, sorry. You need a super friendly robot to guide you through your day."
You really don't.
Security.
Oh, security. Yeah, let's talk about security. So it's still kind of hard to come by. When I was asking about encryption, most of the press representative folks either don't know how to answer, or they brush it off with some kind of non-technical answer. Like
No one ever gets hacked anymore.
I would be like, what kind of encryption do you use? Is it, you know, AES 256 or whatever it might be? And they would just be like, oh, it's really good encryption. And I'd just be like, cool, what kind is it? And then they would ask me to talk to their CTO, and their CTO just happens to be never available at the booth. And I was just like, so my recommendation to all these companies that are going to CES, because this is going to become more and more of a trend, is train your PR folks to know how to answer journalists when they are asking about security. Because I'm not the only one that is going up to these booths and asking about encryption.
The flip side of that is there were networking companies building home routers, like partnership. We'll talk about one in a couple minutes where they're partnered with Bitdefender, where it's actively scanning all of your devices for potential threats. You know, like your own sort of robocized internal pen testing team that can basically analyze traffic and take a look at what's going on.
The ones that were touting a security product in itself, like the Cujo box, the Bitdefender box, things like that, were fine. They knew how to answer those kind of questions. But when it came to smart devices that are made to make your life easy, convenience, they didn't know how to answer those security questions for me. And that's where the concern is, especially when it's a device that you don't want people to hack into.
Are you saying security may be an afterthought for the Internet of Things?
Oh, it still is. It still is.
Were there any robots that didn't suck at CES?
There were a lot of robots. There was a ping pong playing robot. I didn't get to see it. I got to see lots of video of it. It looked really cool. It looked awesome, and I wish I had the time to go to check it out and play against it myself, but apparently it was very good. LG had some giant robots that looked kind of like trash bins.
Well, yeah, that's kind of their next generation evolution of the robot. One's a server, one's supposed to basically it's a shopping cart that also acts as a checkout stand. Yeah. And the third one was the porter to carry your luggage. The porter,
yes.
Yeah.
So those actually looked really cool. There was even at, I believe it was the Renaissance, maybe? One of the hotels in Las Vegas had a robot that would deliver things to your room.
Right.
Not necessarily new, but it's becoming more popular, and this is the first time that people have seen it in a Vegas hotel, which is really cool. So robots are becoming more mainstream as far as companies trying to introduce and get the ideas out there, but they're still selling like B2B. It's not to the prices that it needs to be for like consumers to be able to buy these quite yet.
Or the ones that are oriented towards consumers, there would be like 23 on a display and they'd be like,
yeah. Or they would break.
Yeah, and that's just because one of our viewers asked a question like, see any security interactive robots? Like I had this mental image of him wanting like the Robo German Shepherd to send through the yard,
right?
And mostly you'd get something that would be like, I am a very cute robot, and I can pretend I'm Alexa, or something along those lines.
Right.
There was no robots that were finally making me go like, this is the robot for my home. I mean, talking to Jiro made me feel like I was talking to, Google Home or Amazon Alexa.
Yeah.
But, with facial reactions.
With a face.
And it could dance. Kind of like one of those dancing, tequila bottle kind of dolls for Christmas.
Right. There were those robots too, but I definitely did not promote those, nor did I record them, nor did I go visit them. I was staying away from that. VR was also on display. There was some really cool VR, and there was some really glitchy VR. HTC had their Vive Pro, which was wonderful to play on. I had such a good time playing with the Vive Pro.
Is it higher resolution?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
It's like 78% higher resolution.
So more res.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's really nice. Dell Visor is very comfortable to wear and so easy to flip off and on if you have glasses, which is super exciting. And there was also this no-name company that I saw at a press event that was showing off these glove accessories that you put on. You wear them with your normal VR lens. So they had, I believe it was the Oculus that they were using. You stick a little wireless adapter on the front of it, and the wireless adapter can tell where your hands are. And then the gloves let you move your fingers in VR. So you can draw things, and you're supposed to be able to do things in 360, but you can also pick up different things. So they had me do a demo of picking up a fork and eating some steak, and it was very, very glitchy. It was actually hilarious to watch because I was cracking up watching myself trying to do this. I felt like, what's that game, Octodad? I think it is.
I think so.
The one where you're running around and you're just destroying a household. That's basically how I felt in VR. It was ridiculous. Oh, it was so bad. But it was good times. So VR, I think some of these companies have got it. They've figured it out. Other companies either need to get some serious funding so that they can figure out these glitches, or maybe they should do something else.
Well, sometimes you sort of hammer out a demo for CES.
Oh, it was definitely hammered out, that's for sure.
Some of the biggest companies in the world had demo fails at CES. But one constant for me coming and going from CES was the sort of BMW M5, doing donuts in the parking lot demo.
Oh, yeah. Gosh,
Continental
I heard them
Tires
every single morning.
And BMW.
That was crazy.
Yes. We did not partake.
No, we did not, unfortunately.
Got a follow-up question for CES 2018. Email ask@tekthing.com. We'll have some more products from CES in a couple minutes. Right now, let us talk about talking to my ancient car. We love Anker's USB cables, chargers, batteries, and when the crew there asked if I wanted to check out the new Anker Roav, that's their mobile division's new Viva Alexa-enabled car charger, on the drive back home from CES, I was definitely down. Seriously, voice commands in a 22-year-old mechanical diesel truck? How could I say no?
That sounds like magic.
It is magic. Well, actually, it's a little tiny USB charger. Setup's really easy. You plug the Viva into your vehicle's cigar lighter socket. You pair it with your phone. You pair your phone with the car's Bluetooth, or you can plug the headphone jack from your phone into the auxiliary port on your head unit. Fire up the Roav Viva app on your iPhone, and you are good to go.
Okay.
Except for Spotify. Spotify won't be enabled until later this year. It is what it is.
But Spotify is available in The A word.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Just not that.
Yet.
All right.
So
good to know.
It's a subset. It seems to be a subset of A word commands, but Viva still managed to pull pretty much any artists I requested thanks to Amazon Music. So I was pulling some fairly obscure stuff. Up it came. I'm happy the music's playing. Currently Viva supports Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and SiriusXM with Spotify to come.
Cool.
Pulling up Audible books was easy, and of course you've got all the basic Alexa tricks like asking for the weather in another location, what the time is, setting a countdown timer, and making calls.
Okay.
The calls weren't through Amazon Alexa, but they were using basically dialing your phone for you.
Oh, okay.
So I could be like, ALEXA, call Daniel, and it would fire up.
I actually prefer that.
Yeah. I don't particularly need to send my calls through Amazon.
Exactly.
Given the noise level in my truck, did I mention it's a diesel? I was pleasantly surprised at how well the built-in noise reduction inside of the Viva managed to hear my voice and execute on tasks. I did have to raise my voice a bit on the highway, but seriously, loud truck. Folks I called had no complaints over my voice quality, which is saying something. And there are, of course, 2 USB ports on the Viva that can deliver 4.8 amps total split between the 2 ports.
Power IQ?
Built in.
Yay!
Yeah, so basically it should do all the charging as fast as you want it to.
Cool.
And Anker says that Viva has access to 25,000 plus Alexa skills, but navigation was where I hit a bit of a roadblock, pun intended.
Really?
Yeah, well, okay, first up, like asking it the basic question.
Yeah.
Alexa, navigate to Las Vegas, Nevada, never actually got me instructions over the car stereo. Well, okay, they kind of did, but this is the fun part. First, Viva wants me to A, pull over and stop, B, open the Viva app, and C, hit a button so it can launch Google Maps, which D, I could have done faster without getting Viva and Alexa involved.
Oh.
So start the navigation before you hit the road or prepare to get hands-on with your phone.
Sorry, traffic information is not available at the moment.
Alexa, navigate to Sacramento, California.
Getting directions to Sacramento.
London Bridge, 1673.
Beyond that, though, I was actually delighted with doing simple things like pulling up my favorite tunes or my current audiobooks, or just finding out what the weather was where I was going. Is that worth $50? Probably more if you're already sort of living La Vida ALEXA a la Shannon.
Right.
I would have liked the navigation command to work better because me. And I'd like some magic where it also worked with the systems built into the car stereo, but that would be an engineering nightmare of I can't even imagine. Car manufacturers can't get stuff to work with their own stuff, so why would you expect a universal device like this to work with all the car stereos? Seriously, I'd also like a Magic Pony. The fact that I was still using this after 8 hours in the truck and still using it 3 or 4 days later after I got home suggests that it works a lot better for me than Siri, or
That's
maybe
good.
that Siri just hates me and ALEXA hates me less. Heads up, some cars are not going to be able to fit the little mushroom-shaped Viva. There's a growing list on the Amazon webpage. The Viva app is available in iTunes App Store and the Google Play Store. The price is $49.99. Amazon says it'll be in stock February 4th, 2018. You can pre-order now. I liked it.
Do you think that you would actually need this, though, if you have a newer car? One that has like GPS built in and calling with Bluetooth.
I do have a newer car, but we didn't opt for the extra, $3,000 to get a navigation system in the dashboard, and this wouldn't be able to talk to it anyway. So, I'm already giving it a thumbs up. Like I want the commands to work a little bit better, and that also may be part of the evolution of the app, which is going to require people to buy it and then Anker to dedicate app development resources. Right now, I asked it to open up a book in Audible, and it did. And then I switched to another book in Audible, and it did. And I'm like, I'm already so far ahead of the game compared to where I usually am in voice commands. I was
very
pretty
true.
thrilled.
I'm usually so lazy with my connections in my car that I just listen to the radio.
Yeah.
Which is a waste of time.
But I had 8.5 hours to kill, so.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I was able to, switch art. For me to be able to commute and switch artists without taking my hands off the wheel, a lot of you were like, what are you, an idiot? You've got an iPhone? It's just, Siri and I have just never really worked together well. So it was cool. $49.99, February 4th, 2018.
Cool.
You make the call. If you want to give back to the show and get closer to Shannon and I, head over to patreon.com/TekThing. It is the place to be. Hangouts with the hosts, build videos, early access. Our patrons at patreon.com/TekThing. Well, you make TekThing possible, and we are grateful for your support. If you can't donate, we understand. Keep sending in your questions, your tips, and your ideas. Y'all are amazing, and we love to hear from you. Email ask@tekthing.com, tweet at tekthing.com, @Stubbs, or @Patrick Norton. Thank you so much for supporting the show, no matter how you do it. Last week, we dropped a whole bunch of segments from the CES 2018 show floor, from the best new TVs to Razer's Project Linda, giant thumb drives, LG's booth, Intel's NVIDIA GPU-powered CPUs, and quite a bit more. But frankly, there was so much going on at CES, I had a ton more picks.
Ooh.
I'm just going to say it one last time. Google Assistant. AI that you don't really need.
Of course.
They were everywhere.
Google Assistant.
Google Assistant.
All over the place.
I see that logo in my sleep now. I'm hoping it fades. Like it burned into my eyeballs.
I didn't get to see that much. I was stuck in the media room editing so much. I didn't get to see much other than what I recorded.
Like coming and going. It was on like the walls outside. It was on the monorail. It was on
true.
Dogs walking down the street.
I was able to see the booth outside. And I saw the monorail with the advertisement, so it was everywhere.
Everywhere. It was at like the fashion mall downtown. I will stop. AMD announced the 2nd gen Ryzen. It's going to hit in April. Still built with global foundries. It's going to move to the 12 nanometer Zen Plus process down from the current 14 nanometer process. This is Zen Plus, not Zen 2, which is going to come out in 2019. We should see higher clock speeds and precision boost tweaks that will deliver more consistent and gradual clock speed shifts. Yeah. Threadripper CPUs are going to get the same Zen Plus treatment in the second half of 2018. You can see them slide. There they are, Ryzen Threadripper. Yay! I love the fact that these processors will fit in existing socket AM4 motherboards with no socket changes, although you might need an update to the BIOS. AMD also announced a new chipset, the X470, which is also going to ship in April. Just about nothing known about that other than it's going to be lower power and optimized for 2nd gen Ryzen CPUs.
Cool.
AMD also announced the G-Series Ryzen APUs with integrated Radeon Vega graphics, aka the, quote, AMD Ryzen desktop processor with Radeon Vega graphics.
Yay!
Yay! Oh my goodness. We'll see Ryzen 5 2400G and Ryzen 3 2200G on February 12th for $169 and $99 respectively.
Okay, cool.
Slightly higher clock speeds in Ryzen 5 1400 and Ryzen 3 1200. The 2400G includes 11 compute units at 704 stream processors, and the 2200G has 8 CUs or 512 stream processors, which means essentially, 1, you can now build a Ryzen-based PC without buying discrete graphics, and 2, it should slightly outperform, it should outperform the graphics that are on board Intel chipsets, except for the Intel chipsets that include Vega graphics in laptops coming out later this year. We talked about that last week also.
I wonder if these are all fine as far as Spectre and Meltdown go. I'll have to find out.
No, nothing's, they're all going to be updated, but there is no processor even in the pipeline
these
right
aren't
now.
Oh, okay.
Got it. It's going to be years before that's designed out of processors, if it ever is.
Okay.
Welcome to the new world. Everything's vulnerable at birth, no matter what operating system you run. And if you're thinking about building a new CPU, you're going to like this news.
Okay.
AMD also dropped prices on most of the Ryzen CPU lineup, as much as 30% on my beloved Ryzen 7 1800X. That's down to $349 from $499. 8 to 13% changes on Ryzen 5 and 7 processors is a little more typical.
That's exciting.
And the cheapest processors and the new G-Series processors stay the same.
Okay, cool.
Oh my goodness. I gotta say, I loved, Pioneer had a Tacoma kind of show car they built. And I like Tacoma pickup trucks. But what was really cool, they did A/B testing of the new Pioneer speaker series that they debuted here, the Z series, their audiophile series, and the refreshed D series speakers. It's like their new no compromises top of the line speaker. And then the D series is the latest gen of their sort of American tuned, more bass heavy speaker. It was really, really cool. I mean, just because, you never get to test, like you get to test car stereo speakers when they're on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, at Best Buy or something, or a car stereo store. But it was really crazy to be sitting in a car and have like bink, and it switched to this system, and bink, and it switched to the other system.
That's so funny.
I
haven't even cared about car speakers since I was like a teenager with a little Honda Civic.
Pioneer says there's still 11 million head units a year installed in the United States alone.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there are. I mean, like, yeah, I was hanging out with those dudes.
They get excited.
Yes, they do.
Astro Reality, one of the things I stumbled as I was like wandering through a corner of the show, Astro Reality had some lovely 3D printed moon and planets on display to promote their augmented reality application. It looked amazing on the model and worked just as well. On a lunar AR poster you can print out yourself, though I did want to put my phone on a tripod to stabilize the image a bit. astroreality.com, and the app is available now on iTunes, App Store, and Google Play Store.
That sounds fun.
It was fun.
That sounds really cool.
It's really cool. I mean, I can't wait to show the kids because you can drill down onto the. It's like naming all the craters on the surface of the moon and stuff like that.
Oh man,
it's good stuff.
That's fun.
Speaking of AR, Lenovo's Mirage Solo with Daydream equals no stuffing a phone into a rig you strap to your face and no cables running to a PC. It is no HTC Vive Pro in terms of image quality, but it also should ship for under $400 and has all the computing it needs built in thanks to a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 and 4 gigs of RAM.
Pretty good.
Yeah, the WorldSense it's WorldSense motion. Basically, you can do regular VR motion, but you can add leaning and dodging and ducking.
That's cool.
Which made for some fun moments in the Blade Runner sim that was loaded on the Mirage Solo. Lenovo says up to 7 hours on a single charge. It's going to show up in the second quarter of 2018. They also announced the Lenovo Mirage camera with Daydream. It's the simplest camera ever. There's no viewfinder. There's no panel on the back. You point it, and it captures 180 degrees of imagery, kind of stereoscopic. So it creates sort of instant immersive 3D videos and photos. It's not 3D because you can't walk around inside of it in the sense we use
But you can look around?
Yeah, you can kind of look at this 180-degree image. So basically everything from here to there and there gets recorded.
So it's like a panorama, but just this way.
Just this way.
And all over this way.
All over this way. It's super simple. I can totally see people being like, we're going to get this to send the videos of the baby to grandma.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Under $300 again, second quarter 2018.
Okay, cool.
Netgear's got the Orbi outdoor satellite, so it's weather resistant, available now. You can see it sitting in the rain right there. And the Netgear Armor Security powered by Bitdefender. Vulnerability assessment, intelligent network intrusion prevention, and malware for Android, or anti-malware. They're trying to prevent it, not cause it, for Android, iOS, PCs, and Macs. It's going to debut on their Nighthawk AC2300 smart Wi-Fi router in the first quarter. Then it's going to roll out in the Orbi. It's like $7 a month if memory serves.
Okay.
They also have the Netgear XR500. That's the Nighthawk Pro gaming Wi-Fi router, which is all about the Duma OS dashboard.
Yes.
It was really cool, right? Because you could be like...
This sounds really neat.
Yeah, and well, they were trying to make things as non-geeky as possible in the configuration and setup.
Right.
And the idea that like...
Which you have to if you're selling this to consumers.
Absolutely. Or, gamers that just don't want to deal with digging into things. But like, you can they had geofencing set up so you can be like, don't use a server outside of 100 miles, or don't use a server over there.
Right, yeah.
Or block this jerk because his machine is incredibly slow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the GUI for setting up quality of service priorities was pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, that's useful.
$299.99 available now. They also have the Nighthawk Pro Gaming XX10 gaming switch, two 10 gigabit multi-gigabit ports, so they can do link aggregation to 20 gigabits per second, should you be one of the 3 people that needs that. Or maybe that's all going to roll out in the next year or 2 and I'll just be blown away.
Okay.
Each port can handle like 10.5, 2.5, 1, or 500 megabits per second. Again, they can aggregate those 2. Then there's 8 more gigabit ports. A really slick management interface.
Cool.
So you can basically tweak all the settings on it, and you can adjust all the RGB LEDs so they match your router and your gaming motherboard or your mouse.
Don't judge me. I just love RGB LEDs.
Shannon's Battle Station will have all of the colors matching.
It's true.
Also $299.99 and available now.
So pretty.
Oh my goodness. Linksys' latest WRT32X gaming router is going to bring Rivet's killer prioritization network to Xbox gaming. It's going to bring it to all consoles later this year. Linksys said, we reviewed the PC version a few weeks ago. Also from the not necessarily new at CES, but impossibly cool, dino-lite's digital microscopes. Their demo stopped me in my tracks in the South Hall.
Really?
Like 1.3 and 5 megapixel versions, 20x to 220x optical magnifications. They have like their pro models, their supermodels offer like up to 900x magnification, and apparently all optical. They're not just making the pixels bigger. USB 2 and 3 versions. They do like ones with video output. They do cameras that you can put in place of the eyepiece and a microscope. Dino-lite.com.
That's ridiculous.
It was so cool. Sadly, Tech Toys Flying Sound Disc Light Up and Bluetooth Speaker Throwing Disc was not on display. I just have this picture of the poster, but I did see the Atari Table Pong on Calinifer. Calinfer. That actually, yeah, it started as a Kickstarter project last year.
Okay.
And people would sit down and obsess with, doing the little foam version of
This
Pong.
is like the real, the RL version of Pong, right?
Yeah, the insane one. It was a Kickstarter project.
Yeah.
So many Kickstarter projects.
Very cool to see things be successful in Kickstarter and then
Yes.
show up at CES.
Hopefully they're shipping and not just
I hope
selling
so.
more at CES.
Yeah.
WeBoost and SureCall at Automotive Cell Signal Boosters. HyperX had a really nice new Cloud Flight wireless gaming headset. Definitive's Demand Series D11 high-performance bookshelf speakers are pretty impressive. And I suspect we'll be talking about more products next week.
I'm sure we will.
Oh my goodness. Got an email from Sue. She writes, I'm interested in purchasing a gaming laptop that must be compatible with the Acer mixed reality headset. My budget currently is $1,000, but tell me if this is too low for a great gaming laptop. I've looked at the Acer Predator Helios 300 and Alienware gaming laptops. No specific model in mind. I don't plan on traveling huge distances with the laptop, but may take it to family and friends gatherings. Any suggestions from you would be welcomed and appreciated. Love your show, Sue. Thanks, Sue.
Yes, thank you, Sue. $1,000 is fine for most gaming, but for VR, it's going to be a stretch.
For a laptop.
Yes, for a laptop.
For $1,000, you can VR all you want on a desktop.
Since you specifically asked for a laptop, though, I will give you what I found close to $1,000. The lowest you could go with the Alienware laptop specifically would be the second up from the cheapest ones, because these ones have the 7th Gen Intel Core i7-7700HQ processor, which works with VR, including the Acer mixed reality headset, which specifically adds that you have to have hyper-threading in your notebooks or a 6th Gen Intel Core i5 for desktops. So you have to go with something a little bit more expensive, around $13.99 for that. The 13-inch as well as the 15-inch both cost the same amount, so depending on which size you would want, if you wanted to go with the Alienware, you could do that.
You basically don't want anything less than 1060, like NVIDIA GTX 1060 graphics for VR.
I do use an Alienware from Dell for editing and for gaming. I can speak to its reliability and its durability. It's a really, really good laptop. It is rather heavy, so keep that in mind, and it is bulky, but it comes with all the ports you could ever want, which is wonderful. As I make Patrick die. I'm sorry, Patrick.
I've been working on this since Thursday night.
The Acer Predator Helios 300 will also work with it fine, but again, that is a little bit more expensive. It's a little over $1,000, around that $1,300 price point again. HP Omen and Gigabyte also make some really pretty nice looking gaming laptops, but I must say I have not reviewed either of those in person. I've only seen them in person. I haven't gotten hands-on, but they are a little bit more than your price range as well. Generally, you're going to find that you will be paying around $1,300 to $1,400 plus tax, unless you can find a really good deal, which you might, given that CES just happened, so some of these might go down in price if you wait a few months. But the main thing that you need to pay attention to with the Acer mixed reality headset is those compatibility requirements. So just make sure that you get one of those that has the hyper-threading for the notebooks. It has the NVIDIA GTX or AMD RX 460 or greater, the HDMI, the 8 gigs of RAM, and the 3.0 port, and you should be fine with whatever you choose.
I will say, look, one of the things we hear over and over again from some of our friends that are either in VR development or that kind of live reviewing VR is you can never throw too much hardware at VR.
That is so true.
And erring to more hardware than you need is probably a much better choice than getting the bare minimum of specs if you don't want to be really irritated because you can't upgrade the GPU on a laptop.
Yep, it's so true.
It is so true.
We also got a question. So Benny emailed ask@TekThing.com. Why is the Razer dock getting all of this attention? I know the phone serves as a touchpad, but the Sentio Superbook is just as close to market, and I don't see that promoted on your show. Please consider it, as it is a very cool concept. I can't figure out why it isn't on the market yet. It has been several years underways and raised $3+ million on Indiegogo. But then again, so did the Laser Razer. The Laser Razer, what is that?
Okay, let's have some fun with this.
Okay.
This is the Scarp Laser Razer, a 21st century shaving device.
What in the world?
The first ever razor powered by a laser for an irritation-free, incredibly close shave. Join the revolution. Well, they raised like $4 million, and then the account was suspended.
Oh.
I believe for not having a working prototype. So the Razer crew ended up over on Indiegogo for 21st century shaving, raised like $500,000.
Oh,
and that was funded on October 25th, 2015.
Okay.
They still haven't shipped product, but, quote, aim to update you all by the end of March 2018 as to our progress.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the Sentio Superbook, which started as Andromium, there it is, transform your smartphone into a laptop for $99.
Hey.
They raised $2,952,508 in Kickstarter with 16,732 backers on August 20th, 2016. And, they still haven't shipped yet. In December 2016, they announced they wouldn't be able to ship until February 2017,
Okay.
and then they will ship in June 2017. And as of December 28th, 2017, Sentio says that, quote, mid-February, Superbooks start their ocean freight journey. Backers in Asia will start receiving their Superbooks, with North American backers getting their Superbooks in April.
Whoa.
So, I ordered a 3D headset.
Yeah.
Or I kickstarted, I gambled on a 3D headset.
Gambled, yeah.
3D audio headset. I think they're a year late in climbing. Partially to answer your question, is that hardware is difficult, and it often takes way longer to solve either the scaling issues or the actual making a product that works issues.
Very true.
You can go to Sentio.com and pre-order a next generation Superbook now. It's like £2. They claim 8 hours of battery life. It's got 11.6 inch 768p TN screen with a standard keyboard for $129. You can go to a 1080p screen with a backlit keyboard for $189. It's an IPS screen on that 1080p version.
Okay.
So yeah, Benny, the reason folks haven't been covering the Sentio Superbook so much this week is that A, it's a 2-year-old project, and B, not at CES 2018, unless they were in some corner that I didn't notice. News focuses on new projects at CES, not necessarily putting the projects that are most famous at CES in market context and giving you alternatives. It's all about churning out a lot of stories as fast as you can. This is apparently the, the Engadget, Gizmodo, Verge head whip as they pump out 400 articles in 3 days. And also, this isn't Razer's first, throw it against a wall and see if anybody cares vote for CES
They
project.
do a lot of prototypes there.
It's a thing for them.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing for Razer. And the Superbook is not the first time we've seen a dock, and neither is Razer's.
Right.
The Motorola Atrix laptop dock, or what lab dock, I don't remember what it was called, but you could use one of those with your phone back in the day as well. So this has been a reoccurring theme for a long time. Razer has been the first time that I've seen somebody use it as a trackpad, and I think that's why everybody is so interested in this, is because Razer, it almost feels like Razer was planning to do this laptop dock thing because of the way that the Razer phone can automatically switch into this desktop format with 2 different displays going on at the same time.
A lot of software development to make that work.
Yeah, it's kind of fascinating, and I think that's why everybody has been talking about it, including myself, because I'm truly interested in it.
Plus, you roll with the Razer laptop.
I kind of roll with the Razer laptop. Yeah, that's true. I dig all the gaming stuff. It's fun.
And thank you for the reminder of the Sentio Superbook. So if anybody's out there looking for a way to turn their laptop into a desktop, turn their phone into a laptop, not a desktop.
Yeah, you could do that one if you don't have the Razer phone.
Should be shipping in April.
That's cool. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up. So remember, once in a while, put down your phone, step away from the screen, close your laptop. I'm gonna close mine because it's dead anyway. And do something analog like Jack, who says, this is the first robotics competition FRC Team 4418 dropping off pillowcases they made to the Children's Hospital of Colorado. Woohoo! The team needs to build bumpers for their competition robot, which requires sewing. They decided that they could learn to sew and create something for the local children's hospital. Aww. Many kids have chronic diseases and spend lots of times in the hospital. A handmade pillowcase is one of the few ways that they can liven up and personalize their room. Sewing was not something that the students expected when they joined the robotics team. It is necessary for safety during the competition. The students were able to learn a new analog skill and help out their local community. From Jack in Denver, Colorado.
How cool is that?
That's awesome! And thumbs up back to you guys. I think that's great. Yes, thank you so much for doing those kind things for your community. That's awesome. It's so good.
It's always amazing to see what skills show up in what places.
I know. Yeah, it's amazing.
Woohoo! Thanks, Jack.
Yes, thank you.
If you have an analog thing to share with the audience, please email ask@TekThing.com, and we will do our best to share it with the whole crew.
And don't worry, we're getting better. My temperature's gone. My cough is not.
Someday I'll stop with the cold sweats.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Patrick Norton.
Delicious. I'm Shannon Morse.
We'll see you next week on TekThing. We'll see you next week on TekThing. Not dead yet. Woo! I need that on a t-shirt.
As we die.
CES, catch all the diseases. At least I didn't get strep this year. I got strep
know.
2 years in a row at CES.
The only time I've been sick at CES was my very first year, and then every time other than that, I've just been really tired. Did you just?
It fell. Beard error. There's lots of lemon seeds in my lemon honey potion.
Yeah, the only time I got sick, Keith was super perplexed, my husband, because he has never seen me with a temperature before.
Oh, funny.
So this weekend he was just like, I'm worried. What do I need to do? And I was just like, just make me tea.
My neighbor
Like, that's all.
He's like, do you know anybody who's never had a fever? He had to explain what a fever was like too. I guess one of his family members is in their 70s and has never had a fever.
What?
And was just like, I don't get what the big deal is.
It's so rare for me. It's only happened it's been like 10 years. Other than that, like
That's a
stomach
good
aches
thing.
and stuff happen, but geez, it's been so long since I've had a temperature. I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm a big baby.